You're watching Morning at NTV.
Come back to the #1 breakfast show in the country, and thank you for staying with us. I do have Miss Crystal Newman right here in studio to talk about the dangers of children going online. The international, that is the Internet Watch Foundation, IWF, has set up an international online portal to actually help children and iron out the dangers that they face when they go online. Yes, she's going to be helping us understand what this is and how it actually works. What we do know is the Internet Watch Foundation has been doing some good work in the UK and worldwide. In 1996, you did have child sex abuse content at 18%. Now in 2018, they did reduce it all the way to 0.8%. That is great, great, great work. So Crystal Newman will be telling us about the strides that have been achieved, the difficulties that they face while executing their mandates. A very good morning, Miss Crystal Newman.
Good morning to you. Thank you for having me here.
All right. Share with us about the work of the Internet Watch Foundation before we get into the nitty-gritties. What do they do?
Well, the Internet Watch Foundation is a UK-based charity that works globally to take down any imagery, so that's either videos or pictures of child online sexual abuse. So any kind of content, they work very hard to try and make sure they take it down, because the biggest fear most people have is if something is out there on the internet, I mean, what can you do about it? So they help victims of child sexual abuse identify this material, take it down, but also they just ask people, whatever you see that you feel is wrong, is not right, they do their as much as possible to take this information down.
As a parent, I might not have the tools to remove this image of my child, explicit images of my child on the internet, so I just have to go to Internet Watch Foundation, talk to them and see how best, or do I just have to go to the authorities?
Well, what they've done is they've set up a portal, which is stopit.ug.
Stopit.ug.
So here in Uganda, you simply go to stopit.ug, and for whatever information you have, that you've seen, however you've seen it, you simply take the link and just post the link there, report it, and they will investigate it and take it down as long as it involves someone below the age of 18. So it's a way of just making sure whatever is out there that involves our children is taken down.
During the onset of the pandemic, Crystal Newman, many of our children came back home, and then online learning was touted most. But then we do know that there are some dangers when children go online. What are some of those dangers?
Thank you. That's really important. Most people worry about what our children are going to see. They're like, oh no, you know, they might land on some funny material, or, you know, what are they going to go looking for? But a lot of people don't realize that this is a thriving illegal industry where there are people targeting our children. There are people who are trying to befriend them. There are people who are trying to groom them. You know, if your child is online, maybe playing games and in chat rooms, and they're saying, oh, you know, I met some new friends. Who exactly are they chatting with? Do you know if these people are who they say they are? Are they actually children? And what are they asking your children to do? Because many children actually are providing these images, are sending these videos using their gadgets at home. So it's a matter of making sure you protect what your children can see, but you also protect who has access to your children.
How does the Internet Watch Foundation assist parents and others who are affected by these dangers?
Well, the thing is, they're asking each and every one of us. It's not just about parents. It's about you. It's about me. It's about anyone who lands on material. And the moment you see something, you see a video, you see an image, wherever it is, and you're like, this person looks young. This person looks like they're under 18. Well, you simply go to stopit.ug again, and you just report that that link there, and they will take down that image, or they'll take down that video. So they're trying to make the internet a safer place, because like you said, last year more and more children are online. I am one of those parents. I was very, very strict with my children, but now I know they need to be online, if only for their studies. So how do you make sure that when they're online, they're protected? People who are trying to get this imagery from them do not make it to them, and how do we make sure that whatever's there is taken down?
What challenges do you face while trying to execute your duties, trying to figure out where the perpetrators are and so forth? Yes, what are some of the challenges? Share with us.
I mean, the challenges are that, you know, the internet is a wonderful place, but then it's also a dangerous place.
Indeed.
And we tend to think that because we all have smartphones, as an adult, you have one, I have one, that children will know what to do. So one of the things you have to remember is they do not have the maturity sometimes to be able to make the right decisions, or to even identify who has singled them out as a target. So the challenge is making sure our children are aware of these dangers, so we need to talk to them. We need to talk to other parents. We need to make sure we keep having these conversations.
Indeed.
So you also need to make sure that you set up all kinds of safe search engines at home, because just handing over a gadget and you think they're going to know what to do, how can you also make sure that you protect them? So the challenges are that there's so much out there, we need to do more.
Let's talk about the factors that have exacerbated this trend. Could the parents be to blame? The laxity by the parents, they've also been, not even laxity, they've been hammered so badly by the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, in that many of them were focusing on, you know, earning a living for their children. So meaning as a parent, I was not so concerned about my child, their homework, what places they are going to on the internet, what sites they are visiting. Could it be that the parents also did drop the ball by not being involved in their children's lives?
Well, I hate to blame parents because I'm
But
a
it's a
parent
fact.
too.
Indeed.
But the point is we need to do more. We need to be aware of what we have handed over to our children. We need to be, I mean, for parents who decide to set up email addresses, and just because you don't want the stress of, you know, your child coming back to you again and again for different things, you set up an email address and you state, you know, change their name and make sure they're an adult. You need to be the one to protect them. We talk about sexual violence against our children in our communities, in our homes, in schools, but what about online? Because this is more and more part of their lives. So yes, parents need to definitely do a lot more, and that's why we have to talk about this, but also we need to let people know, if you see anything, any online imagery of child sexual abuse, report it. Go to stopit.ug, report it, and it will be taken down.
Most of the perpetrators that have been arrested or nabbed by this system, are they foreign or local?
Well, it depends. It depends, because you see, you don't know who is targeting your child.
Yes.
The internet is a global village,
Indeed.
you know, so people have access from any part of the world. But also,
So
you
where are
look
these
at,
URLs coming from?
well, they come from everywhere around the world, but then also there's some here, because in many situations, this material ends up online, but it starts probably on our social media. It starts on something as simple as a WhatsApp. I mean, you might have someone here in Uganda who has targeted your child,
Indeed.
is asking them for their nudes, asking them to send videos and all kinds of things. It first goes on WhatsApp, but the moment it's out there, it's online, it's a challenge to have it taken down. So this is a way to do that.
What should parents expect from this initiative moving forward in the future?
Well, they can expect to see a lot of action. This has been extremely successful in the UK.
Indeed.
You just shared a lot of the statistics. So to know that we here in Uganda have a portal that we can go to and report anything that we see. And it doesn't even have to be just about our Ugandan children, because, I mean, children anywhere in the world need to be protected. So IWF helps victims of child sexual abuse anywhere in the world. So again, if you see anything that involves someone and you're like, this person is young, this boy, this girl, they cannot be 18 years old, you just simply report it. And the thing is, the beauty is, they're not interested in your details. Some people are worried, will there be backlash, you know, will it come back to me? It's confidential, you can report anonymously. All they want to do is help. They don't need to know who you are. They just need to know that what is out there, and they do their best to take it down.
Great and insightful conversation I'm having with Crystal Newman right here about children and the dangers they face when they go online. Crystal Newman is a media expert in this jurisdiction. Let's talk about who runs the portal here in Uganda.
Okay, well, the portal in Uganda, of course, is run by IWF, but it also has partnerships here with NITA, as I mentioned earlier, with Sauti, the official child helpline here in Uganda. So there's a lot of assistance here in Uganda, but it's also being sponsored by MTN, by Facebook. So you have a lot of people concerned coming together.
Break it down for us. How does this international online portal work? Yes, how does it work? How do you nab the perpetrator? I would like to know the process.
Okay, well, the process is, if you see anything, number one, you have to see something.
NITA inclusive. How you work with NITA and...
So the Internet Watch Foundation, of course, has partnered with all these bodies to make sure, because anything that is done in Uganda, of course, has to have the approvals of the correct bodies.
Yes.
So they launched this campaign. The campaign is called Help Children Be Children. I think that's so powerful.
So
Please,
powerful.
let's help our children be children. So this campaign was launched 1st of February. That means this portal is active. And that means that any individual, even if it's a child, because we can share this information with our children as well, any individual, simply, if you see something, you get the link of that material, and then you go to stopit.ug and you report there. That's where you take that information, right? And then the work is done from that point. It is investigated, number one. And then the steps are taken to take it down. And then if they can land on the perpetrators, which is why it's important that they're working with Ugandans in authority here, then we can see some action as well.
And finally, in the absence of these initiatives, what can a parent do to safeguard their child, Crystal?
Well, again, make sure that you set up safe search engines for your children. I mean, I talk about something as simple as YouTube Kids as an option instead of YouTube, because YouTube has all manner of content out there. So you can make sure that
they
your
try,
children...
but they don't try so hard to cover up some of that content.
And many of us as parents, we just don't know. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. So talk to other parents. Talk to someone, if you know anyone who works in IT, just say, okay, I need to make sure that my child is not going to go here, is not going to go there. If you talk to your children, if your children say, oh, you know, I have all these new friends, I'm playing this game, we're in these chat rooms really target these young children because they're vulnerable, they don't know any better, they believe whatever it is you tell them. You need to make sure, number one, you talk to your children, but you set up all these checks in place. And also, I mean, even if we now need our children online, you need to also set time limits as well. You can't let your child be online from morning to morning every single day and you're not paying any attention. Have people at home watch what they're doing, but it's a constant process, and that's the thing about parenting, you never let up.
Indeed. Crystal Newman, can sex education be a factor that we can look at? Sex education inculcation into our children, can it work to stop them from being abused on the internet?
Well, that is part of it too. That is part of it too, for children to understand the dangers, because much as we say in our daily lives, don't talk to strangers, for the longest time, I don't know, when you were young, you're probably told, don't talk to strangers, don't take sweets from this person. Now that's in the physical context, and they think about it as the people around them, but you have to translate that. Even online, there again, still going to be people who are offering you sweeties in another way.
And the funny bit, Crystal Newman, is that some parents stop there. Don't open for strangers, don't talk to strangers, don't go here. That's the only sex education that they do. They don't go into the nitty-gritties, like this is what you shouldn't do when a man approaches you, you have a right to say no. They just stop there. Don't talk to strangers, don't open for strangers. Should parents do more?
Yes,
go
absolutely,
deeper?
Absolutely. We need to even just talk about this whole wave of nudes being shared, because we see more and more young people sharing nudes and sharing all kinds of explicit videos because maybe their friends are doing it. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about the dangers on that gadget.
In your opinion, why do you think parents shy away from talking about sex education?
I think maybe it's cultural as well. Sometimes I think as parents you're just shy, you don't know how to bring it up. But the reality is you've brought these children into the world. It is your job to protect them. And as uncomfortable as these conversations are, you need to have them. If you yourself can't do it, then make sure you get a sister or a cousin. But from a young age, you need to start having these conversations around sex. It starts age appropriate, whether it's from bad touches, and as they get older, they have a better understanding. Because believe it or not, I mean, they will find this information. Even from their peers, they talk about sex. So it's important for them to know the dangers and what is expected and the kind of people out there that are really targeting them. Yes.
All right, but if we don't put all these factors in check, I hope there'll be an exacerbation in online sexual abuse on our children.
Well, we saw an increase in 2020, last year especially. The numbers were insane. So we need to do something.
Indeed.
It doesn't have to just be here in Uganda, wherever we are in the world. Yeah, we can all make a difference.
Crystal Newman, thank you very much for this time you've given us to talk about the dangers children face online. It's really imperative.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And you're still watching Morning at NTV. We are going to take another breather and return with another pertinent conversation right here on Morning at NTV. Don't move a muscle.
You're watching Morning